Today, we talk about one of the most undervalued, underrated communities in the Sacramento area. Guys, if you want resort style lifestyle, if you want great schools, if you want great location, if you want a great community, guys, this community has it all. The only thing it doesn't have is good marketing because not a lot of people outside the area have heard about this community. Now, stated at the end of the video is I tell you exactly why, if you currently own a home in this area or if you're thinking about maybe buying a home in this area, we're going to talk a little bit about why it could be the best investment you've ever made or plan on making. Let's get into the video. The community we're going to be breaking down today is Whitney Ranch in Rocklin, California. Sure, a lot of people in Sacramento know where Whitney Ranch is, know all about the amenities, the location, how amazing it is. But here's the biggest problem about this is the fact that 50% of the people that are moving into Whitney Ranch are not from the Sacramento area. They're coming in from the Bay Area, Los Angeles. Yes, they've heard of Rocklin, but Whitney Ranch, they're not really sure why they would actually go that far to live in the Sacramento area. In fact, I've worked with a lot of clients that have moved into the Whitney Ranch area, and their first initial thought was it might be a little too far away from shopping, and it just seems a little remote. You go on the 80, then you hit the 65, and a lot of people at that point have a little thing in their stomach going, man, this is a little too far away. I just feel a little bit out there. Now, guys, that's the biggest elephant in the room when it comes to Whitney Ranch. The other one being that it is on PG&E. But Whitney Ranch, once people eventually get to Whitney Ranch and start looking around, they realize what a gem it is. So today we're going to bring in the maps. We're going to talk about like house styles, house prices, all that kind of fun stuff about Whitney Ranch. And like I said, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a little bit about why this area is going to be blowing up in the near future, and why it could be a great spot for you. Like I said, guys, I love the idea of focusing in on areas and communities that I see potential growth in. And this is one of them. Like I said, guys, I think it's undervalued, underrated. Especially for people who don't even know about Whitney Ranch. I think they definitely should. And I think it's one of those communities that is an all-star. Now I'm going to break down exactly why I like this community and why it could be the spot for you. So let's jump into the maps. Okay, so first let's talk a little bit about location. Now Whitney Ranch is about 44 minutes from downtown Sacramento. This doesn't take into account traffic cycles like at 9 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But this is kind of what it looks like. Let's say you're driving in on a Sunday or midday. This is kind of what it looks like. All right, number two is, here we go with the airport, 36 minutes away. And like I said, traffic and all that stuff, traffic cycles, take that into account. But this is how far away it is from the airport. Now, the next big one, of course, is medical. Roseville's got a huge Kaiser over there, and there's other medical offices as well. But what you're looking like is about like maybe 20 minutes to get to the big hospital at Kaiser in Roseville. So these are the big three things that we normally get asked about from our clients. They're always like, where are hospitals, airport, and downtown Sacramento. Now, a lot of times what you're going to also run into are these communities that have Mello-Roos and HOAs, and you don't know how to exactly find the Mello-Roos and HOAs on a lot of these communities. Now, here is a website, Placer. All you have to do is type in Placer property taxes. We have it down below in the link. You can actually look at the property taxes for property, and you can download their previous year tax bill. So you're going to know exactly how much of the Mello-Roos, how much is Mello-Roos. They're going to have line items. So that's something really, really good to know. And it's something that if you go there and you go to Whitney Ranch or any community or property in the Sacramento area or Placer, Yolo, El Dorado, you can find this stuff. And it's really accessible. Now in Placer, this is where you go. So if you find a house in Whitney Ranch that you like, go here and you're going to see exactly what the Mello-Roos looks like. Now the Mello-Roos, yes, there is Mello-Roos in Whitney Ranch. It's a newer community. Most of the houses there are maybe like early 2000s all the way to basically right now they're building. Anthem Properties is building out there, Anthem Homes, and JMC is also, I think they have at least 3 communities remaining up there as well too. But this is kind of how you're going to know exactly what the property or the Mello-Roos looks like in any single property. And I love sending this out to people because Mello-Roos can be a little confusing, but definitely Whitney Ranch does have Mello-Roos. Now, another thing that I love about it is the fact that there are new homes being built in Whitney Ranch. There's not a lot of homes being built comparatively. Whitney Ranch, especially the top, there were builders like Tim Lewis, the New Home Company, Richmond American. There's a ton of new builders up there at one point in time. But right now, they're kind of winding down at Whitney Ranch. And so you have like Anthem, who's coming out with an amazing property up there. They're going to be more like luxury type homes. So you're looking in probably like $800,000, $900,000, and above. And JMC's community, if you're looking for something in the 700s, I'd say go to Renwood. And then they have anything from 700 to maybe over $1 million as well there too. these are really, really nice homes as well. And like I said, these things sell really, really fast. Now, a lot of people are wondering, well, man, this is like $1 million stuff. You're saying undervalued, underrated. We're going to talk a little bit about this at the end of the video. Now, this community for what you get there is just crazy, okay? So one of the things I absolutely love about this community, and I have my notepad for you guys and everything, is the fact that like I myself live in Gold River. My HOAs are $350. I do not have a pool. I do not have a gate. People in Serrano are paying $300 as well too. That doesn't even give them golf course access or anything too. Now, the whopping Mello-Roos that you're going to be paying up at Whitney Ranch is $82. Now, you're going to get, and you guys see the photos like this, you're going to get an amazing pool scene, Cabo San Lucas vibe over there, barbecue grills. You're going to get these like nice little areas, cabanas as well too. Community vibe. They're going to have events there for the holidays. It is so nice because here's the thing. Normally in the Sacramento area, if you're paying like $60, $70, $80 a month, those are usually HOAs that are just geared to basically protect the CC&Rs. That's pretty much what that price point is. If you're looking at a clubhouse, if you're looking at a pool and everything too, you're going to be paying in the 200s or 300s for sure. This community is pretty much one of the only communities in the Sacramento area that will actually make you say to yourself, that's all I'm paying for my HOAs and what I get. This clubhouse is phenomenal. Like I said, we're going to go into the ranch. We're going to go into the maps and show you guys where it's located. Resort pool. I mean, it is fabulous. Like I've gone there during summertime and it is packed. Community vibe. They have events out there too. Really, really fantastic. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't like HOAs and they don't want to get into communities because of two things. One is they think they're paying for basically nothing. And number two is they really don't like the restrictions. There are restrictions in Whitney Ranch, but an 82 HOA comparatively towards like, Russell Ranch over in Folsom or whatnot, where it's like 240 is so nice. So this for me is probably the best bang for your buck HOA in all the Sacramento area. So if you're someone who maybe bought a house there, you're going to be enjoying a nice HOA, a nice pool. You don't even have to put in a pool in your house if you don't want to. So I love this and the HOA guys. I mean, like so good. Not a really big cost like you're going to see in a lot of other areas in the Sacramento area. Like I said, I live in Gold River. My HOA fee is $350 a month. I have no gate. I have no pool. They maintain everything in front, yes. But an HOA like this is something that a lot of people are waiting for they can deal with. So I love the fact that it's only $82. All right, and as you can see, they have like sitting areas. They have barbecues. It's on the tippy top, so you have views. It's pretty amazing. All right, so now let's talk about a little bit about the schools. Now, one of the things that people absolutely love about Rocklin is the schools. If you look at Whitney High, if you look like Rocklin High, you're going to see amazing ratings. Some of the best ratings via greatschools.org in the entire area. So you got Whitney High, and it's so funny because you're getting off on the 65, and then you're shooting up Whitney Ranch Parkway, and then as you're driving up towards Whitney Ranch on your left-hand side, that right there is Whitney High. So we're talking what? Eventually the kids will go to high school and they can even ride their bikes to high school. I mean, it's pretty nice, and it's a top-rated high school in the area, which is nice. You also have elementary schools in the area that are just some of the best. And I know a lot of people are thinking to yourself, Mark, wait, hold on. Yeah, there also is the Whitney Ranch and the new one they put in, the Quarry Trails Elementary, which is amazing. Now, one of the things I love about this elementary school specifically is the fact that I've seen people pick up their kids in golf carts. Yeah, that's right, guys. Golf cart living up here in Whitney Ranch. So for me, honestly, you got the schools, you got the resort style vibe, you got the community vibe. You're paying an HOA that's $82, which is so small comparatively towards other HOAs in the area where you get really nothing. The community vibe is fantastic. Now let's go into the Sacramento real estate app and show you a little bit about the houses that have sold and the house styles and everything too. Like I said, a lot of the housing here, a lot of the house styles are newer because like I said, this is a relatively brand new in the 2010s that and up that has been here in Whitney Ranch. And so it's kind of nice, the idea that the ranch house over there is pretty much new. The houses are pretty much new. The parks, the schools, and everything are pretty much new up there, and which is something that a lot of people love. So let's jump into the app right now. Okay, so here's the Sacramento real estate app. And one of the things I love about it is the fact that it has this draw feature, which you can basically go, okay, I want to say all this stuff in Whitney Ranch, boom, and then apply it. And it's going to show you every single house that's basically been sold, up for sale, pending, and all that stuff. So as you can see, there's a lot of activity going on in Whitney Ranch. And for the most part, for me, I see a lot of these houses in the sixes, like high sixes, sevens, that I think are completely undervalued. And I think the area is just phenomenal. All right, here we go. You're going to see everything here. Like, look at all these house styles. They're new. They're not, a lot of them are, all of them are pretty much tract homes, but for the most part, they've done such a nice jobs. Some of them have pools. Some of them are higher up. Some of them are lower. And also, one thing to note is there are also condos on the base of when you're getting off the freeway as well too. There's condos, apartments as well too, and there is some scattered shopping. But like I said, at the end of the video, we'll talk a little bit about what's going to change in the area to make everyone who owns a house there smile, and everyone who's moving in smile as well too. So you got all these new homes that were being built, all these houses. Look at these things. Like price point, you can get something like this, $719. Look at this beautiful house. Guys, like I said, if you're looking for something and you want it all, like Whitney Ranch is definitely a spot you need to take a look at. Myself, I just don't think it's been marketed properly. And that's why all of a sudden, a lot of people don't know about the Whitney Ranch area. And look at this. A lot of houses have sold. There's still some houses in the sixes as well too, which we like. Really, really nice. And like I said, really minimal HOAs. And yeah, there are Mello-Roos. Like I said, a lot of stuff here is newer, pretty much everything. Take a look at the Placer County tax area and download the last year tax bill if you're looking for resale. But one of the things I love the most is, like I said, the HOA and what you get for it. Okay, let's jump into the maps. This is one of my favorite things to do in the Whitney Ranch area, and we're going to show you firsthand what this area looks like. Okay, here we are in the maps, and here's the 80, right? So here, guys, here's the thing for traffic. This area right here just is a bear as far as at 5 o'clock and at 9 o'clock. So if you want to get to Whitney Ranch, you're going to hit the 80, then you're going to hit the 65, and then you're going to keep going down the 65. Now, this is what I mean. A lot of people, when we're driving down the 65, they feel very much like, I'm not sure if this is going to be too far away from me or whatnot. Like I say, guys, I think it's definitely worth the drive for you. I think the price point, the resort style lifestyle, the schools, everything in Whitney Ranch is so spot on, and especially those HOAs, man. $82. You don't have to put in a pool because you have I think there's 3 pools up there as well too. So here's Whitney Ranch. Now what you're going to see is the red line is outlining kind of older Whitney Ranch. Above it, and I'll show you a little bit about it, is where GMC is still building out. Anthem is going to be building as well too. So here's Whitney Ranch. Like I said, you get off the 65 and you're coming up there. Now here's where you're going to see some of the condos and apartments as well too, and some of the shopping. Now over here is Whitney High School right here. Like I said, you're going to see it as you're passing it up. So if you have kids who are in high school and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, we're moving to a new area, Whitney Ranch looks pretty good. Your kids, if they're in high school, are going to be 5 minutes away. You can drop them off. If they're driving, it's really, really close. You're really a straight shot up into Whitney Ranch. Now, what you're going to notice as well too is I think this is the new elementary they put in as well too. It's really, really nice. And what was it? I think Tim Lewis was building over here. You can't really see it on this, but for the most part, it's on the tippy top. So you do have views, and there are these nice little areas in Whitney Ranch that I really, really like that you can actually just walk down and sit by, where you can grab a glass of wine, you can hang out, and it's just really nice. If you're someone who likes walking trails, if you're someone who wants a kind of a secure, quiet community, this Whitney Ranch area is really, really nice. It feels like you're at the top of the hill plateau. Now, the only negative, like I said, is the fact that if you're someone that needs to drive to maybe downtown Sacramento or needs to commute to the Bay Area one day a week, it can be a little bit of a bear. But for the most part, it is that community a lot of people have been wanting. A lot of people want to kind of, live somewhere where they're on the hill, they have nice views, they're surrounded by nice new everything, new parks, new schools and everything. And Whitney Ranch is definitely like that. Now, don't be fooled by this map. It's going to look a little flat, but Whitney Ranch is definitely kind of hilly, and they have plateaus in the area as well too. So a lot of these houses up here as well too have views. A lot of them even have their own pools. So it's a really nice area. And you're going to see, let me see if I can get here. Hold on. You're going to see over here is where the building is going to continue. You got GMC building out here. You got Anthem Homes as well too. Really, really nice. And then you got what's called Whitney Oaks Golf Course, which is close by as well too. Really, really nice. And here's the clubhouse I was talking about. Look at this thing. This is the clubhouse that you get for a whopping $82 a month. And they have events during the holiday season, all that stuff too. So you get this, right? You get barbecue pits, you get a area right here, a community center. But But look how cool this is. Like you get like little, like, I don't know what they're called, bungalows or whatever. You can hang out with the kids. So that's one of the things that I noticed that a lot of the HOAs in Sacramento like don't give you. They don't give you the pool. They don't give you the clubhouse. They don't give you any of that stuff. And I like it. So if you keep coming up here, you're going to hit the turnstile. And here's where like the new elementary is, Quarry Trails Elementary, which is just phenomenal. I mean, look at the size of this thing. And also there's a park over here as well too. This is where the Tim Lewis's offices were when they were selling as well too. Now, like I said, these houses all over here have views. And if you can see over here, these have views as well too. I mean, there's a lot of nature, a lot of walking trails. This park, I mean, the grass doesn't look hot in this picture, but it really, really is a nice area. But this is the elementary school that, I kid you not, when the kids get picked up, I at least see through 2 or 3 golf carts picking up the kids. Really, really a nice family vibe. And like I said, over here, they're building it out. I think this is where JMC is building over here, or maybe Anthem. But there are new homes. And right now, what I'm seeing is JMC's got 3 communities. Anthem, I think, is building 2 collections out there. But it's a really, really nice community at the top of the hill. And like I said, the biggest gripe I have about like the Whitney Ranch area is probably PG&E. It's a little far from the freeway. Shopping as well too. But that's all going to change. And let's jump into a little bit about what is going to change in the area that's going to make all you guys super happy right now. Okay, so one of the biggest gripes has always been for people moving into Whitney Ranch is the fact that their shopping is basically they go to Roseville or they go to Lincoln for like the Nugget and all that stuff too. So one of the things that I love is looking at areas and saying to myself, like, you know, what would make that property just pop, appreciation, grow? What does it need to develop? And I think one of the things that Whitney Ranch has always needed was a shopping center, right? A shopping center so that people didn't really have to drive to Roseville, have to drive to Lincoln. It's been actually some of the things that we had clients looking in the area, and they basically said, nah, it's a little too far from Roseville. That's our main hub, or Lincoln. So they didn't really like it, and they ended up kind of pivoting into either Roseville or into Lincoln. Now, this Whitney Ranch, the Whitney Ranch retail center that they're setting up right now is going to be, I think, like 12 stores, Nugget. So you're going to have your shopping basically right down the street. And this is kind of the perspective kind of plan for it as well, too. And here is a Whitney Ranch Parkway. And this is kind of the concept plan. So for a lot of people who right now are living in Whitney Ranch and they have a home there and they're thinking about maybe selling their home, they might want to kind of understand that once this thing comes into play, this is one of the things that a lot of people, like I said, myself, we do a lot of business in the Whitney Ranch area, have basically said, you know, it's a little too far for shopping, and that's why we're going to pivot to other areas. Once this comes into play, everything's going to be new. Everything's going to be amazing. You're going to have a retail. You're going to have like the Nugget. You're going to have other big box stores as well too. It's going to be a very nice kind of a mall area as well. I love this for Whitney Ranch. And I think this is going to only add to the appreciation of the houses in the area. And I think that once this comes into play, Whitney Ranch is going to basically become even more popular, and it might even become a lot more known outside the Sacramento as well too. Because like I said, the shopping is a big thing for people. You don't want to have to drive down the 65 to the 80 to Roseville, or even hit the back roads or go to Lincoln. It's kind of a schlep. It's not a fun thing to do. The idea that you're going to have something like a retail center over there super close to like Whitney Ranch is really, really nice. Now, the other thing too to note is the fact that if this does work, which like I'm fairly sure it's going to work, you know, you're going to have the concerts out there and everything too. Fun, kind of a community, kind of retail center. But I do believe that there's land associated with this as well too, that you could see additional development being built. I mean, imagine if you had something like Roseville, like the Fountains, or something like the Galleria, or even like something like El Dorado Hills Town Center right in Whitney Ranch. It's a huge thing, and I think for people who currently right now live in the Whitney Ranch area, the effects of this is only going to help your house prices, and it's also going to put Whitney Ranch on the map. And I really, really do like that. Like I said, Whitney Ranch, yes, it's known in the Sacramento area, but like I said, a lot of people from the Bay Area or LA, which make up about 50% of the people who've actually bought into Whitney Ranch, probably were driving up to 80, hitting the 65 and wondering maybe we're a little too far away. But I guarantee you, if they were seeing this big, nice retail center, concerts out there, you know, nice, all that stuff, parks and everything for the kids, they might be thinking to themselves, fantastic, we have our shopping super close by. We got Whitney High over there. We have an elementary right there. We only have $82 HOA. And for me, that is going to be so amazing for the people who are now considering Whitney Ranch and the people who've actually bought into Whitney Ranch. So congratulations, and hopefully this video will bring even more attention on this amazing spot in the Sacramento area. And in my opinion, still super undervalued, still super underrated, and a fantastic spot to live. Okay guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video on Whitney Ranch in Rocklin, California. If you are thinking about making the move to the Sacramento, California area, definitely check out Whitney Ranch. Now guys, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you feel a little bit more educated about the area. And like I said, if you did, smash that like button. Now guys, we are a real estate team in the area. So if you're thinking about making the move to the area, we relocate people from every part of the world, country, into Sacramento because it is such an amazing spot. The other thing we do as well too is work with people looking to sell their homes. So if you're thinking about selling your home and you want the attention, you want to sell it to not only Sacramento buyers, but also people who are moving into the area, reach out to our team. We'd love to talk to you a little bit more about that as well too. Now, the last but not least, we created a playlist for you right over there of some of the top communities, areas in the Sacramento area. You definitely need to check it out. Until next video, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one.